Hey friends, Sean from Draft Therapy here, and on today's review for you, Ich bin ein Berliner. Common Descent is a 3.8% Berliner Weisse from Speciation Artisan Ales in Comstock Park, Michigan. On my most recent live stream, one of the questions that came up was, what's my favorite style, or what's my current favorite style? Now, I've been a pretty solid stout and porter fan for quite a long time, but I'm starting to lean into these beginner sour styles like Gozas and Berliner Weisses, and if you're going to travel down that sour road, you're going to run into Speciation at some point or another. Now today, I've got the lime and orange zest variety of Speciation's Common Descent series. These Common Descent series beers have a few different flavors like cucumber and lime, guava and lime, lime and mint. Are you seeing a theme here? All right, so today we have orange and lime, or lime and orange zest. Let's take a look at the label, then we'll get it into a glass. Fun fact, limes were used in the 19th century to help prevent scurvy in sailors. So I'm gonna grab my glass here real quick, a teku glass. It seems like it's kind of fitting for this. Teku is a good kind of all-around style glass for any occasion, really. So looking at the can here, you can almost immediately spot a Speciation label because they have this kind of parchmenty yellow kind of color, an off-white kind of color. They have like really sparse kind of colors on here. This has, it looks like a watercolor drop, like a green to a yellow, representing like a lime to an orange or to a lemon, but I'd say this is probably supposed to be more like an orange. And it says across the top, Common Descent Berliner Weisse Style Ale with lime and orange zest. Has a leaf of some sort. I'm not going to even lie to you and tell you that I know what kind of leaf this is. On the bottom it says brewed and canned by Speciation Artisan Ales in Comstock Park, Michigan. Gives their address. Has the Speciation Artisan Ales logo on the bottom here, and then it has 1 pint mixed, fermented, and canned conditioned. This has, there is no alcohol by volume, no ABV rating on this. I bought this, you can buy this in 4-packs. I bought this as a single can from Holiday Market in Royal Oak for $5.59. I've started seeing these actually on shelves where I don't think I've ever seen Speciation cans before, so that's really cool to see that they're kind of getting a little bit more. And I mentioned before, if you're going to start doing sours, you're going to notice Speciation. They also do a lot of open fermentation styles, so like a farmhousey kind of style, they'll have those too. And I have the barcode on here, so you're going to see that when I crack this open. But I'm going to go ahead and crack this open, and then we'll get a smell out of the can, and then we'll pour it, and I'll tell you what I think. It has a really, so Berliner Weisses have this really distinct, they're sours, but they're not super sour. They're kind of more on the fringe of being a mild or sour beer. They're almost borderline salty. They have a lot of sour characteristics, though. Again, I think it's a good starter sour for people to get into. And they have these distinct smells. They smell really fresh, really vibrant, really kind of, they have almost a bitter smell to them. And this is no different. It has like a sweet, bitter kind of scent, kind of a aroma to it. Let's go ahead and pour this. I think this is probably going to be pretty clear, but we'll see. So yeah, it's coming pretty clear directly out of the can here. And I just realized I'm pouring on the opposite hand than I usually do, which is really weird. And it feels really weird to do it like this. But yeah, it comes out nice and golden out of the can, borderline clear, no head to speak of. It's fairly transparent here. I'm sorry, the head dissipated fairly quickly. You could see from the overhead there was like the head just it bubbled up, and that was it. There's no head left remaining. A lot of good carbonation streaming up from the bottom of the glass. This glass is a hair dirty because there's a little bit of bubbles holding onto the side, but not too bad. And just it's constantly carbonating, which is a good sign. So then holding it up to the light, it is borderline. It's actually pretty hazy. Like I can see my shadow of my fingers through the glass, but I'm not seeing any detail until I get really close up. And even then I can't see anything, but I can see the shadow pass. But it's kind of got like a really, it's got a lot of stuff in suspension in there, and it looks like a good beer. And if I look really closely, I actually don't see anything kind of hanging in the bottom of the glass. It looks like there might be a tiny bit of sediment in there, but nothing really to write home about. So let's get a better nose out of the glass here. But yeah, I'm getting a little bit more of a limey kind of zestiness out of this now than I was getting directly out of the can. It has a little bit more zestiness, a little bit more going on in that department, but it's not as, it doesn't have as much of that kind of stingy, bittery, kind of sweet smell to it. That's still there, but I think I'm picking up a little bit more lime, and this is like, I'm dangerously close to spilling this all over the place, so I'm just gonna go ahead and dive right in. So cheers. Wow, that is a lot more sour than I was expecting, and the flavors in there. It has a little bit. It's orange zest. That's what they say on the can here. That it's orange zest. So it's not going to be a bright citrusy orange taste, but you're going to get that bitter zestiness. And I think the flavor that I'm getting up front is a little bit more of that lime. The lime really adds to the kind of the puckerability of this beer. It's not really super heavy on flavor. It doesn't punch you in the mouth with all this lime flavor and zestiness. The zestiness is there. Again, it's a little bit more on the tail end. The lime is up front, and that's what you're getting. A lot of that pucker is from the lime itself. And then the finish is really nice and smooth, really nice and dry. It kind of bubbles up in your mouth a little bit and then finishes like super dry. It just kind of cuts out immediately, and then you just get, I don't even have much of an aftertaste. There's not much of a taste that's left over, which, in my opinion, that kind of leads to you wanting to drink a little bit more. And I think this was, like I said, 3.8%, very low ABV, not something that's going to damage you or put you on the sideline for the day. This is really, again, it's June now, so we're starting to finally get this warm weather, or at least nice weather. These beers like this, like I said, the Dry Honey Saison from Old Nation, Axel's Noble Ghost, which unfortunately probably won't be available for much longer. What else? I just did another one just a couple weeks back. All these beers that have been coming out, these lighter beers, are really great for this kind of weather because they're more of like a thirst quencher, a little bit more of a refreshing flavor or taste or just kind of style to them in general. But yeah, that makes me kind of excited that all these different styles are coming out, because they're lending themselves more to the season. I mean, you can drink a nice Berliner Weisse and just kind of get refreshed from it. This one from Speciation it's not bursting with flavor, but it's a good kind of sit down, relax, have a beer, get refreshed in the middle of a nice warm day. I wouldn't tell you to go buy this and you're going to expect explosions of flavor in your mouth. So I would like to see a little bit more of that. I would like to have seen a little bit more of the lime in there. It's there. Again, it's on the start. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more orange, but again, it says orange zest. So I shouldn't have been expecting like a juice, and you shouldn't be expecting that either if this is one that you pick up. But I think for a really nice, refreshing kind of beer, this one hits the spot. And if you're looking for something that's not going to set you back, not something that you're going to be just put out the rest of the day for drinking, this is a really good middle of the day, weekend, really nice warm weather beer to try. And I think the other thing that I like about this, besides it being just a really good warm weather beer, is that it has a little bit of that signature speciation kind of funkiness in there. It's not a straight up, sour Berliner Weisse kind of style that you're used to, because it has that kind of open fermentation taste. It has that kind of funky, farmhousey kind of flavors in there as well. That just kind of enhances the whole thing for me, and that's what sets it apart a little bit from other Berliner Weisses. Again, this is really low ABV, so you're not going to get a whole lot of flavor, but there is that farmhouse kind of flavor in there, that open fermentation flavor in there, which I think just makes a really nice combination. All right, friends, that has been the lime and orange zest version of Common Descent from Speciation Artisan Ales. Have you had this beer? Do you have a favorite Speciation beer, or maybe a favorite sour style? Let me know in the comments down below. And while you're down there, if you like Michigan beer, you might want to subscribe and click that bell, because I'm here talking about Michigan beer twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays for free, and it's all for viewers just like you. And you never know, you might miss your newest favorite if you're not subscribed. I'm also considering starting a little bit of a Midwest expansion on these reviews, doing a little bit of the tri-state area, maybe a bit of Illinois as well. So if that's something that interests you, you might want to be subscribed so you can find out all that stuff. So until next time, I'm Sean from Draft Therapy. Thanks for stopping by, and remember, drink craft beer, support your local breweries wherever they are, and most importantly, don't forget to treat yourself to a little draft therapy. Thanks for watching. Cheers, everybody.